Hey Widow, if you get that fur, I'll give you a blowjob.
Hey guys, this is Myst Gaming here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing an Overwatch discussion that I've been thinking about for a while, and that's, is competitive Overwatch really just a played out long game of heads or tails? Is it you, or is it your team that really affects you? So like, is Overwatch a game of luck where you get a horrible team? And yeah, there's horrible teams, and then you get Smurfs that carry you. But shouldn't most games in your rank be pretty even? Or is it going to be how you play that affects the game? So I decided to take 3 games where I don't communicate. I play DPS, and I play as hard as I can, but I don't really go for the objective. And it's my team's fault if I lose, right? And I played another 3 games where I play support. I make callouts, I say things that are positive, and I mostly play for the objective for the betterment of the team. So I start off the first game pretty normally, picking Roadhog. I didn't pick another DPS because we already had 2 that insta-locked, and I didn't feel like throwing this game. I want to rank up, but I'm not going to pick supports and tanks, or, well, main tanks and things like that. So I'm just going to be showing you some things and how this game went.
Hello, friendos, brendos.
Ooh.
I was quite excited to see that my team actually communicated. They were saying some positive things that I usually say when I start off a game, like hello everybody, how's your day going, stuff like that. But instead I ignore them because if I'm doing well, then it's my team's fault if I lose, or maybe me not communicating or me not helping the team out as much caused us to lose the game. So we'll see.
Oh no.
So at this point in the game, I started playing extremely aggressive. I thought my team was pretty good. They would keep me alive. I pushed out too far, and I let my team go without a second tank for a good while. I pushed out. I died, and then we started to lose the point. So I feel that was a lot on me. I should have communicated and not have played as aggressive and gone for elimination. So that's definitely something that could have affected how the game went.
I don't think it's winnable.
This is another moment where I overjudged my own skill that I'd be able to hit enough good shots. I went out for the Genji. I come back for the Ryan, not looking at my health. I get stunned even after our teammate calls out that there was a Ryan back there. So that was another case of me where I could have just said, I'm gonna rush, can somebody heal me? Like, can Brig give me a health pack? And I might have been able to survive there, but I did not communicate, so I ended up dying. And it was a 5v6 for the rest of this little fight. I started getting frustrated and playing very poorly, and this definitely came from me not communicating. I ended up dying a lot. That put me making me play even more aggressively. So I kept dying and then leaving my team and coming back with a 1v6, or it was a 5v6 the whole game, because I was getting frustrated with myself that I wasn't communicating, or why I was dying, why is my team letting me down. Maybe that's what somebody would think. That's not what I was thinking. I knew that this was my fault at the time, but I wanted to make sure that this wasn't just a coincidence and our team really isn't just bad. I feel like our team could have been a bit more skilled. We played way too passively, the rest of our team did. We ended up getting mopped by their coordination. Our team really, they were only saying positive things, and yes, positivity helps our team stay structured, but when we don't coordinate our movements, when we don't coordinate our ultimates, we ended up losing. Now, I feel that could have been a little bit to my team, but I think if I was doing a communication game, we could have won this, but this was a lot more, I think, of skill between me and how my teammates played, so yeah, that was our first game.
I really like that we lost our Brigitte.
The second game was really boring. Honestly, I just picked Reaper. We ended up going in. We died a couple times, and it was just pretty bad, honestly. We ended up losing in the end. I'm just gonna speed it up and show you what happened. As a quick recap, what ended up happening is we pushed in. A couple people were being a little toxic in chat, but nothing that's not nothing out of the ordinary here. It was just us going in a bunch of times and dying. I didn't want to switch off Reaper. I was actually doing decently well, just snagging a couple kills whenever I could. As you can see, I'm in the kill list. Sorry, I forgot what it's called. You can see my name pop up a lot. I'm getting decent kills. And then on this choke, we just ended up getting mopped. We ended up pushing a little bit farther, but on defense, when we tried to hold that choke point, it was just horrible. And as you can see, it was me just going in as Reaper, trying to get some heavy meat shots, and then dying and walking back. And then we lost at that choke, and then they beat us at that choke because we could not hold it well. I ended up switching to Junkrat because Junkrat's a better defense character than Reaper is. I ended up getting pretty good kills overall in this game, but we did not win, and I feel like it was more of our team rather than me not communicating and coordinating, because I got my amount of kills, I did my job, I got golds and silver throughout the entire game. You know, doing what a DPS should usually be doing, holding points, but we ended up losing this. There was a lot of bad coordination, and nobody wanted to switch something that could beat the Pharah. I didn't switch to hit scan because I don't feel like the best hit scan player, but we ended up losing this game, and it could have been a good game because we got a lot of good kills and we had potential, but our team started getting a little tilted. For the third non-communication match, we actually did end up winning. What kind of made me a little mad is that, as you can see here, I picked Reaper before either of the snipers chose their class. And when you pick DPS, there's this big kind of standoff where it's whoever's going to switch off from third DPS. They were staying there for a while, and I was getting quite frustrated with them. I didn't want to say anything in chat, so I decided to switch to Roadhog. It was pretty annoying that I had to switch, even though I had the first pick out of anyone in our team. But our two snipers did not want to change. Our Widowmaker held us back a lot, and I feel we definitely could have lost because of her. But our Hanzo actually ended up being pretty decent, although we had some really bad plays. This was definitely a heads or tails situation, because we had a bad team, but the enemy was just horrible straight out. I ended up doing my job pretty well. I got golds and silvers throughout the entire game. As you can see in chat, I said low DPS. That's why I said, because I had gold limbs and gold damage, I think, at this point in the game. Hanzo took it back from me, but Widowmaker did not do much. I think Ana had more limbs and damage than Widowmaker. This was a lot of our team's problem, but actually we ended up winning this game. We pushed the card in with I believe it was 3.5 minutes left, and we held it pretty well. Like I said, we should have lost that game. Our team was playing horrible. One of our tanks switched off to DPS in the middle of the game, but we ended up winning because the enemy was somehow worse. For our first communication game, we did alright. We ended up losing, but when you lose on games where you're more positive and excited, it doesn't feel as lame. Here I get picked off by the Widow. I call out that it was a nice hit. It was a pretty good shot, actually. That was kind of bad of me for not jumping and moving around. I kind of just walked, assuming that I wouldn't get hit, but their Widow was actually pretty decent. I made a lot of call outs this game, and it was nice to finally stop being like that toxic DPS who won't switch off that we've all grown used to. But we ended up losing this game to Sombra and nobody covering our backlines, because she would hack me, kill me, and then all our Harmony and Discord Lords would drop. And then it was a pretty easy mop up after they killed our Zenyatta. We tried really hard to hold this point, but our team was just not coordinating well. It was a lot of their team was coordinating better. We had a nice kind of positive team, pretty well, you know, the usual stuff. But we ended up losing. I think it was because we were splitting up too much. You can see Pharah's out there. Hanzo would go back here, and sometimes he'd get picked off by their Sombra, and we just had a lot of no backline cover. They singled off our Pharah a lot, and they just basically they took us out one by one when we couldn't beat them. See, here I get hacked and just everybody goes in random directions trying to find something when we should have stick together and used our abilities as one single unit, but we end up losing this game. I'm not too disappointed about it, but yeah, that's basically it for this game. am not afraid to say that this was my team's fault because we really had no backline defense. I was getting picked off by the Tracer. She was really good, actually. And we just started pushing in. Roadhog wanted kills, and we just couldn't coordinate it well. So we didn't even get a tick on the first point. And basically, once you get to about here, where you can't even get one tick, it's pretty bad for the rest of the game. I ended up switching to Mercy, and we just got pummeled on the second point, or on the second round. At the end of the game, our few people that had mics basically stopped talking entirely. I was left alone for a lot of the time, and the only few things that were said throughout the last half of this game were pretty toxic. Other people complaining about DPS complaining there were no heals, stuff like that. We ended up losing because our team was just not cooperating, and we definitely could have gotten a better team. Our 3-stack did not want to switch, and they would just, whenever somebody would say something to one of them, then the other two would come back and say something in their defense, and they'd usually just bully them. And here, I got nanoed instead of nanoing the May, which was the correct thing to do, but we ended up losing this. May couldn't hold, she got picked here. May actually did pretty well. It's just our diva, the rest of our team wasn't really cooperating, mostly the 3-stack, but yeah, that was game 2, and we ended up losing. For our last game, I ended up playing Brigada because I felt it was a pretty okay choice, because on defense for this map, a lot of shields help a lot. I try to like coordinate with the team, cooperate, say some nice things, but at this point I was getting upset after team, no matter how many callouts I made, whatever I said. I would end up.
Boot sucks. Just let him know.
I would end up losing because my team wouldn't switch. It was mostly a lot of the DPS problems, and I feel I could have improved a bit as support. Maybe I wasn't healing the correct people in certain situations, but I feel I did what I was supposed to do, and I just got screwed over by my team. But it was a nice change here. We actually had a nice team. I had one person was very nice, and then one person was talking. I made some callouts because I was less upset during this game, and we ended up winning very easily. And I want to show you this game. After a nice easy mop on the first round, I ended up switching to Mercy because I felt like damage boosting some of the characters we had, it was a bit more fitting. We were really close, and with a couple good ultimate charges, we ended up going in and finishing the enemy pretty easily. I ended up getting pretty good stats, pretty good kills. And yeah, that was the last game. So in general, the score was 2-4 on all the games that I played during this. Sadly, from what I can conclude in the lower levels, that being bronze to silver, gold, and platinum, it is definitely down to a 50-50 coin flip. I say 50-50 because it makes a better structure, it makes a better video title, but in all honesty, it is completely unbalanced, and Overwatch needs different ways, different people, like ways that different levels of people can play with each other. Because I know there's endorsements, but those really don't do anything, because if you get experience from endorsing somebody, then you should endorse them every game. So then endorsements really don't mean anything. Really, it's down to, yes, like coordinating with your team helps a lot, but in all honesty, it's down to whether the enemy is bad or if your team is actually doing what they're supposed to do. They're not being toxic. No, if you're being toxic, you're most likely going to lose that game, because being toxic is one of the fastest ways to lose a game, because everybody doesn't want to try anymore. What's the point in trying and being positive if there's that guy being negative? But really, from what I can conclude, it's sad to say, but Overwatch at this point, and I don't know about the higher levels, it is really just a game of luck, a 50-50. Because what are you gonna do unless you're a very good Widowmaker who's just screwed over and you can do good shots, you can consistently hit things? You're not gonna carry 1v6 every game. You're not gonna have that consistency. So I know it's kind of annoying to have to say this, but from what I can conclude, Overwatch is a 50-50 coin flip, in all honesty. Thank you for watching this video. I know it's a little disappointing to find out the end, but I took a lot of time and effort to make this video. I know I only played 6 games, but of the many alt accounts I've made and the thousands of hours I've put into Overwatch, I can conclude that it is 100% a 50-50 game. It's like very annoying to find these teams, but if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Check me out on Twitch if you have not seen my Twitch account. I will probably put a link in the description. I want you to check out one of my friends, OP Malik. He's starting a Twitch channel, and I will link his YouTube channel in the description as well. Thank you for watching. Please like if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.